Alright, well, let's dive right into my Elimination Chamber post video. So, to anyone who watched my pre-video, thank you. My channel is really new, so I definitely appreciate it. So, yeah, let's dive right in. So, oh god, I have to start out with The Miz winning the WWE Championship after cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase, which was very shocking. I did not see that coming. I didn't see that coming until I saw MVP talking to The Miz backstage. I think that was a poor idea on WWE's part to show that, because knowing that Lashley was pissed and seeing MVP talk to The Miz, I think that made it very obvious what was going to happen. At least I knew, and I'm assuming most of you guys would have figured it as well. Speaking of Lashley being mad, so I thought it was... Now, I feel bad for Keith Lee. I feel really bad for Keith Lee. I heard that he's injured. I don't know the extent of the injury or what injury it is. A lot of people are saying that Vince McMahon is kind of going sour on him. I hope that's not the case. He's extremely talented. I was really disappointed, honestly, when he was called up to Monday Night Raw so soon. He won the NXT Championship and then the North American Championship, and then vacated the North American Championship by choice, and then lost the NXT title in his first defense. I felt like that was a little too soon. I felt like he needed a bit more time in NXT. And I always get nervous when anyone gets called up to the main roster, because I don't trust Vince McMahon. I mean, we've seen it so many times what happens to people's careers. I mean, Aleister Black right now, Tyler Breeze in the past. What happened to Ember Moon when she was in the main roster? And now look at it. Where is Aleister Black and Ember Moon and Tyler Breeze are back in NXT? So, I really just don't trust Vince. I hate calling Raw and SmackDown the main roster, because I feel like the most entertaining thing in WWE right now is NXT. So in my opinion, I would like to consider that the main roster, but I know obviously that's not the case. But so to cover other matches, the United States, like I said, the United States Championship match was fantastic. Keith Lee's disappointment was a great opportunity for John Morrison. He hasn't really done much since being back in WWE, besides being The Miz's sidekick. I would like to say tag team partner, but I mean, you kind of have to do things and accomplish things as a tag team, and The Miz is just the Money in the Bank contract holder, now WWE Champion. So really, I mean, it kind of makes John Morrison his sidekick all this time. And that's sad, because, when he left, he went on to do so many other things outside of WWE in Lucha Underground and even in TNA when he was Johnny Impact. So it was a shame for me when I saw him come back to WWE and not really be pushed to do anything. So to see him in a U.S. title match was really, really awesome. I think the match was great. I think that swerve at the end to have Matt Riddle win the title and not pinning Bobby Lashley, which makes Bobby Lashley even more angry, and I think will propel him to the WWE title picture, especially after attacking Drew McIntyre. I think that'll be interesting, and I really, really am excited for Matt Riddle, because I was very nervous for him being brought from NXT to the main roster on Monday Night Raw. So I'm glad that he is champion. He is getting that push. The Women's Tag Team Championship match, I was wrong. I thought either Bianca or Sasha were going to turn on each other, and they didn't, or at least not yet. I don't really know what they're doing with Reginald. Like, I have heard that there are a lot of people who think that Reginald is going to join Sasha Banks when Sasha Banks turns heel, if she does. Speaking of Sasha Banks, her being on Stone Cold's podcast last night after the pay-per-view. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but it was fantastic. I enjoyed every moment of it. Reliving Sasha Banks' career and hearing, you know, all this candid information and stuff about her past, and I think it was really cool, really relatable. So clearly Reginald cost them that match, which could be, you know, a plan by Carmella. I mean, I really don't know, but I like that I don't know, because a lot of things in WWE tend to be pretty predictable lately. So I'm excited about that. And then you have the Elimination Chamber for #1 contendership to the Universal Championship, which I mean, we all knew it was going to happen. We all knew that whoever won was going to lose to Roman Reigns, and they did. Daniel Bryan was the one who won. It was a great match. I'm so glad Daniel Bryan won, because I thought that was really interesting. I think the highlight of that match, was Jey Uso eliminating Kevin Owens. I think that's kind of putting finality to Kevin Owens currently chasing Roman Reigns for the title. I think that his focus is going to be redirected now solely at Jey Uso for doing that, which is fine by me. They'll have some great matches. I think Kevin Owens should have won the title during his collection of matches with Roman Reigns, but you know, I'm not booking, you know, the matches. I'm not booking who wins. So that'll be interesting. I was happy to see Daniel Bryan win that. I did obviously know that he was going to lose to Roman Reigns, but I was pleasantly surprised to see Edge at the end spear Roman Reigns, and it was a great spear too, and I was really happy to see that, because on SmackDown, when Edge speared Jey Uso, it wasn't like as strong of a spear as I normally see from him, and then he got speared by Roman Reigns right after, and that actually seemed like a stronger spear, and that bothered me. So to see Edge pull out that heavy spear, I was so excited, and to see him whisper whatever he did to Roman Reigns before he pointed to the WrestleMania sign was perfect. You know, it was a callback to when Roman Reigns whispered something into Edge's ear on SmackDown, which we still have no idea what either of those conversations between the two are. I hope that we do find out. So, you know, now going back to the WWE title chamber match, I thought that was really interesting how the eliminations went. Having Kofi Kingston eliminate Randy Orton, I think, was a quick way to get Orton out of the match, because we all know the Fiend is coming back. We all know the Fiend is coming back, and I hope it's tonight on Monday Night Raw. I have been loving everything the Fiend has done, especially with Alexa Bliss joining him. I think this is Alexa Bliss's greatest work that she's ever done. A lot of people were, you know, a little hesitant, a little nervous, you know, knowing that Alexa Bliss was going to have this new character. But the one thing about Alexa Bliss is she may not be on the level of, say, the Four Horsewomen as far as wrestling and, like, in-ring skills go. But as far as charisma and acting talent and mic skills, she's honestly one of the best. And I'm not just talking about one of the best women, one of the best in general, like male or female, in all of wrestling right now. Her character is amazing, and she pulls it off so well. It is so convincing. I mean, honestly, give that girl an Oscar for her performances. It's amazing. Everything she's done with Randy Orton has been fantastic. But I'm excited to see the Fiend show up. Randy Orton got eliminated early. You know, he needed to be removed from the match, so that way he can be removed kind of from any feuds, you know, building in that match, so he can kind of go back to the Fiend. And but the rest of the match, you know, was interesting. I expected to see Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in the end, which is what I said in my pre-video. So to see AJ Styles in the end with Drew McIntyre, I thought was really cool. For a second, I honestly thought that AJ Styles might have come away with that win, and then still obviously have The Miz cash in. But now that Drew McIntyre won, got attacked by Bobby Lashely, and then The Miz cashed in, I'm wondering, well, where does this leave the WWE title now? There's one more pay-per-view before WrestleMania. We have WWE Payback pay-per-view. So I feel like The Miz is definitely going to be defending that championship, probably against Drew McIntyre. They said a while ago the automatic rematch clause in WWE championship contracts were suspended, but it seems that they might have gone back on that. We'll see. I know that Bobby Lashely and Drew McIntyre, they're definitely going to feud now. Bobby Lashely is now in the main event picture, which makes sense. I mean, usually, when you go from US/Intercontinental title, when you lose that, usually as long as Vince still has his eyes on you, then that's usually when you're catapulted either into or back into the WWE/Universal title picture. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. I honestly don't know what they're doing for WrestleMania for that title, and that excites me because, like I said, usually things are a bit more predictable, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that. And I'm so hyped for Edge versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I think Edge needs to win that match. I think Edge deserves to win that match. I think when he had to vacate the World Heavyweight Championship, which RIP World Heavyweight Championship belt, I absolutely loved it. I think that it was really dumb on WWE's behalf to get rid of that title, combine and unify the two titles, and then just to make another title. And instead of bringing back the World Heavyweight, they created the Universal Championship, which, I mean, let's be honest, it is not as good as the World Heavyweight Championship. It doesn't have that lineage behind it. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It's getting a little better. The first couple reigns with when you had like Brock Lesnar having like all the reigns with it and never showing up. I mean, way to make a title look meaningless, having the champion never show up and never defend it. And when he does, have him win in like a 2-minute squash match. And speaking of Brock Lesnar, I'm so glad that he has not been in WWE since last year's WrestleMania. Now, hopefully I didn't jinx myself, because if he was going to show up at any time, I feel like tonight would probably be that time. I don't think it's going to happen, though. But, I mean, I could be wrong. So, we'll see. I don't really know what's going to happen at Payback now. Most of the things I'm excited for right now, as far as the upcoming pay-per-view, Payback, and WrestleMania is concerned, I am very excited to see what happens between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. I have my eyes on that. I definitely have my eyes on Roman Reigns versus Edge. I want to see how that goes as far as promos and the build-up to that match. Definitely excited to see where the WWE Championship picture goes. Hoping to see some tag team title feuds, because I feel like right now and for the past, honestly, few years, the WWE Tag Team division has been in limbo. And, I mean, that's where AEW has WWE beat tenfold. I mean, AEW's Tag Team division is on fire. I think NXT's tag team division is doing good. I think the Dusty Classic was great. I think having MSK win that was the smartest idea they could have ever done. A lot of times they have makeshift teams that they just throw together win. So it was nice to see an established team win. They're young, they're new, they're hungry, they're talented as hell. I say give them the NXT Tag Team Championships. They deserve it. And Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch are boring as hell. I'm sorry, but they just are. But anyways, getting sidetracked. This is an Elimination Chamber post-show video. But honestly, I could talk about wrestling for hours. Clearly. But so I'll just end it with I would say if I had to rate the pay-per-view from 1 to 10, I think 7. I think 7, because there were some good matches, and I think the surprise at the end with The Miz definitely brought it up to a 7. I think that I might even have given it an 8 if they didn't show The Miz talking to MVP backstage, because WWE has a history of just doing that. Just right when they're going to give you a surprise, they kind of take it away by showing something like that. Like, it just wasn't needed. I know they did that to pique our interest and make us think, why are they talking backstage? But why else would they be talking backstage? I mean, come on, really. Like, is there any other reason for them to be talking backstage besides a cash-in? I don't know. But, I mean, Vince McMahon logic is all I can say, which is anti-logic. And in fact, I'm probably going to make a video soon discussing my feelings about the current writing team in WWE on Raw and SmackDown, and where the creative is going, and just my feelings as far as comparing the creative team and creative in general from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW, because all of them are very different, and I think that would make for an interesting discussion. So I'll leave it at that. Any opinions you guys have on Elimination Chamber, I would absolutely love to hear. So please, 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 feel free to comment. Let me know your opinions. Let's talk about it. I love talking about wrestling. And don't forget, as everybody on YouTube says, like and subscribe. All right. Well, as I say, till next time.